Hello, I'm just sharing the link to Facebook. Whew. So, hello. How do I start this thing? Let's go online on Skype. Let's stall it. Let's stall starting for a few seconds. So I'll do the usual speech. I do these streams twice a week. I do them Thursday evening at 8:30 p.m. and I do them Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. UK time. Once a month, I now do a sitting session, a silent sitting session, and that'll be August now. So it'll be, I think it's second week of August. So it will be the 12th of August. So I won't be here doing a live stream. I'll be doing a private meeting, which you can join. But other than that, I'm normally here Thursday and Sunday. So what normally happens in these live streams is I sit for a little bit. I sit for a bit and then do the introduction, and then I open it for people to message or call in, and you call in or message me on Skype. And my Skype is rebekahmaroon, and it's all linked below this video in the box, so you can find out my information. I do one-to-one sessions as well. I have a book available. Book 2 is being written. It's there. It's kind of like it started, but it's not I haven't had the time to really sit and write it, but it's I've already got a title. It's already started, completed yet, which it will hopefully be completed by the end of this year. But yeah, so that's lovely, and it feels like it's part one of the first, or part two of the first book. It's very much linked to the first book. I think it's got more love in it than the first book. That's more empty, more nothing. And book two is more, or I'll say part two of book one, is more of the love part. A lot of poetry, a lot of love expression. And it really is part two rather than book two. It's part two of book one. So it's put into two different books, but it's one book. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. I'm waffling on. Okay, so yeah. So I've had a really not busy, but a really intense maybe week. Things have been happening that are really important. I don't want to discuss it actually on here. I would do, but because it's still happening, it's still fresh, it's still being processed, it's still not finished or completed. I don't want to discuss it. Normally I talk about what's happening in my life, and I talk about it in the stream, but this particular thing is kind of more not yet ready to be talked about publicly. So I've called this stream Freedom Lives Here, I think. Yeah, freedom is here or lives here. And that is where the freedom is, here. So I'm not opposed to discussing my life situation, the flow of this life, of what's happening. I'm really not opposed to that. I often do that, but for this thing, I just think it's wise to not blurt it all out just yet. So, which is really hard, because I'm used to just speaking whatever's happening. I just speak about it, but yeah. Yeah, I think you have to use wisdom sometimes and say, actually, maybe it isn't the best time to discuss this yet. So instead, I talk about where the freedom lies, or where the freedom lives. And isn't that the flow or the life stuff isn't freedom? It is freedom. But as identified people, when that identity is there, that separation is there, that illusion's playing, there is seeking to find freedom in that life, in that flow. And that is the full stop, the rest place here, what is happening, this moment. Okay, they're coming downstairs. Let me just go in there. it's so hot. God, it's so hot. But I know winter time here lasts so long, so I don't want to complain about this weather because winter here is so cold and it's so long. I'm grateful for this heat. So you believe you will find something. You'll find something in that flow. You feel you will find something. That seeking energy is seeking to find something in life, in the appearances. It's trying to find that rest place in the appearances, in the movement, in the flow. It's trying to find that unconditional love, that fullness through a particular thing in the flow as an object. And this is the only suffering of the human. This is the only suffering of the human. No actual problems, like physical problems, are actually a problem. The only problem resides with that seeking energy, trying to seek to find answers and fulfillment in the flow, in life, in the movement. Life is just being life. It's just being this flow. And it changes and it moves. And it's this way and it's that way. When that you is there, you believe you can sort this flow out. You can control and manage this flow to make it the way you want it, to complete you, to make you happy. You have ideas of what it should look like and how, if it's like this, then I'll be happy. If the world's like this, then I'll be happy. Then I can rest. Then I will feel love. So you're obsessed as the seeker to try and sort out life, try and get it the way you want it to be. Try and find that source of freedom in it. Trying to find that source of love in it. And that's the only suffering of humans. Like that misplacement of looking in the flow, in the appearance, in the world, in this. And it isn't an error that you can not do and stop doing. That sense of you is the, not error, but that sense of you is that seeker. And so this message is pointing beyond that. Not pointing to you, the seeker, to point you beyond that, but just it's pointing beyond that, not for you to know beyond that, not for you to find beyond that, not for you to see beyond that. It's pointing just beyond that whole illusion of you, the whole illusion of you having a life, of you existing as someone separate. But the you, the me, takes hold of that that message, that understanding, and tries to use it for itself, for its life, for its journey. And it has nothing to do with that. But that's what happens. It's pointing beyond that dream of you. In that there is confusion and pain and the loss of your life, the loss of all that you held to be true, the loss of your reality. It's like a loosening that happens. And none of these words are to be taken as a fact, as a reality, as a real thing. The mind will do that, the brain will do that. But that's not what this is. Whatever the brain understands and tries to interpret and tries to know will never be it. And that can be really frustrating. Because we're so used to us, or the mind, working things out, knowing things. So this message is like no other. It's like no other message. It's speaking of home. It's screaming of home. But not screaming of home to someone to come home. It's just screaming of home because home is all there is. So it's screaming of home to itself ultimately. It's just screaming of home. And that's not understandable really to the mind or the brain. To a point it is, but it's not really understandable to the brain. This is beyond the brain, beyond the limited thinking. So what is beyond thinking? So we have thoughts appearing, labeling things, knowing things, saying things. But what is the ground of that? What is beyond that? What is there when that thought is stopped or finishes? What is there while the thought's playing? What was there before the thought began? And whatever the mind says as the answer to that is another thought appearing. It's impossible for the mind or for thoughts to grasp this. thoughts or an appearance in this. It's such a beautiful thing what happens in this awakening, going to speakers and talks and things. Beautiful thing. Something's pointed to over and over, and there's a recognition of something beyond the brain, beyond the thoughts. Something's like, oh my God. Oh my God. How amazing, how free. How ungettable. That's what life is, ungettable. Ungettable. We seem to be able to get hold of things, of objects, of forms, of computer, of arms. We can get hold of things, but life itself we can't grasp, we can't get hold of it. You can't get hold of this nothingness appearing as everything. So this is what I speak about. This is what I'm passionate about. This emptiness and this fullness. This pointing to freedom or to home. And this love. So you're more than welcome to ask any questions that come. I think I've finished speaking now. Hi, Ramon. I trust you completely. Tell what works. Yeah, you can Skype. Let me just put my camera. I have a separate Skype camera for Skype. Just check it's all set up properly. So, yeah, it's one camera. What? There. It's a bit twisted. You might see me a funny angle. There you go. I'll just check the audio. Got the right microphone on. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay, you can call. Oh, he's calling already.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can. You're a bit loud. Let me just lower. Or maybe you could lower your microphone thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm Skyping from my mobile.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can hear you better now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there was just a story that came to mind when you were talking. And I read it in one of Osho's books. Well, he didn't write books, but at least what he said. It was about a mystic, and at the point he got enlightened, he had a big belly laughter, and he said, all I had to do was just to relax.
Yeah.
And the moment I read it, it really made me angry. I thought, fuck you. All I had to do was to relax.
Yeah.
But I'm beginning to understand him. And I'm...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a slight delay between your response and what I see on TV.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a bit behind, I think, on YouTube. Yeah.
But okay, we're having a conversation. What I was wondering about is, okay, Advaita, I'm not a enlightened person, so what can I say about it? But the other thing is, people live on a personal level till enlightenment.
Yeah.
Okay. And to become relaxed, sometimes psychological issues have to be dealt with.
Yeah.
So how do you see the relation between Advaita and this process of relaxation?
Yeah. Well, from I agree with you that there needs to be that relaxing, but the way that I experienced it, or with I experienced it, is that relaxing that happens, like it happens alongside Advaita.
Okay, so it's an integral part of this whole conversation. Interaction between, well, let's say you and us.
Yeah, I just feel like life won't let you live in a non-dual conceptual reality. You can't stay with just the mind knowing Advaita. There has to be this dropping, this bodily integration of that. So yeah, I see it as definitely an important part, but it's not like you have to go out to try and do that. It naturally happens as part of this message. I feel it happens. If you have a teacher who is working with you or you resonate with, then I think that happens. And it is, yeah, it is really, really important. Otherwise, you're just living in a mental thing, mental understanding, or a mental, or it could be
no.
There could be a genuine seeing as well of emptiness. But from this experience, this love part, this fully bodily, emotional, bodily part, where the human character or the human part was integrated into it. It wasn't like a separate thing. It became a fullness part where it wasn't just here. It kind of went to the body. The whole body was empty. It's not like, yeah, it's hard to explain it. Like, yeah. So that character is coming out of emptiness rather than still a separateness where there's a divisor that's been learned and known and even maybe glimpsed, but there's still this separate human part that isn't yet lined up or integrated into that seeing. So yeah, it's really, really important to address the human and to be aware and learn about the human. I'm still learning about Rebecca, and it's amazing to learn about Rebecca. Amazing to learn about the body and how this just learning about the pattern, the conditioning, just the body is such an integrative part, a beautiful part, a humbling part, because you are human. This is a human animal.
Beautiful and not beautiful. Yeah. Especially when it's painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I remember you talking about you wanting to commit suicide before, well, let's say like enlightenment happened to you. Well, not to you, but it took place.
Well, that was more years before. That was more before I found like spirituality and before I found self-help, and that was before that. So yeah.
But still, okay, that happened to you.
Yeah.
So there will probably be many more people either listening or having the same problem with how to deal with life, being fed up with life, being depressed, feeling suicidal, and is your answer listen to a teacher you resonate with?
Yes, definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
okay. Now go on. Yeah.
Sorry, I take time to respond sometimes. Even in day-to-day life, I have to wait because I feel things and I can't always verbalize them until after a while. So I have to just take that time to allow it.
I think you lost me. Next time we make a Skype call, we do it by webcam. I mean, in this case, my webcam isn't working at the moment, so therefore I chose my phone.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're saying, being in love with the teacher, resonating with the teacher, will help you, will dissolve the issues you're dealing with.
I think it's more that the body will do what it has to do. It knows what it has to do, but the person's blocking that natural flow. So I'm not saying to sit with a teacher, not live, not do things. I'm just saying that the body will know what to do. It knows what to do. It's just that the person and the seeking energy seems to be veiling and stopping that flow naturally happening. Like it's like you're not conscious of who you are as a human as well. You're not aware of who you are on the human level. You're not aware of what you want, what you don't want, what you may superficially know what you like, what you don't, but you're not really aware of what your body is saying, or you know, being conditioned for so long to not be who we are. So it's getting to know that, and that happens, I would say, alongside this. It happens as part of this awakening.
Yeah, maybe my question is redundant in the sense that you don't choose to start this journey. You find yourself in the company of a teacher, and the process happens.
Everything that has happened, from being born, body being born, to where you lived, to everything just happened, including meeting a teacher. It's all just happening. Life is just happening.
Yeah.
Only
including the moments you really feel depressed. You feel awful about the way you live. You want to change things that don't feel right. That's included in the process.
I'm not sure what you mean now.
Well, even though, well, it's easy for me to say, I feel you find your place in my heart, but, well, who's you? That's a problem with Advaita. But nevertheless, things happen which feel difficult, very difficult.
Yeah.
And back to be resolved. And I can take the position of, well, whatever happens, happens, and it will be solved by itself. Or I can start thinking about doing something about it.
Yeah.
But I realize when I say this, both are not true. It's just something that passes my mind, emotion, body, and in that sense,
I think both of them are true in the sense that, yes, life is happening, and you can't. It's happening as it's happening. It's perfect. So there's that relaxing with that. Life is as it is, and there's no one controlling or doing it. So that immediately has to be relaxation. In seeing that freedom, and that life is just flowing, just happening.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that the body doesn't then have to act. The body then will act and choose to then solve a problem, or how to. It'll just come up a way to solve something.
Definitely.
But it will happen a lot.
If you kick me in the shins, I will shout ouch, and that will just happen.
Yeah. But what I'm pointing to, what I'm trying to say is that solution will come up too, and it'll be answered. You'll know what to do. But what happens is the identity of me being the controller comes in, and the option of what can I do, what should I do, seems to become the main kind of thing filling the screen. So you're obsessed with you as the doer, and you're not aware of the solution, which is so right there. You know what to do. The body's saying, yes, this is it. This is the answer or the solution. But the mind's so active with, I'm the doer. What should I do? So this is like a seeing through the mind, seeing through the thoughts. And it is a real getting to know the body, get to know what this is, what you are as its form. Letting the form speak, the form flows easily, and we know it so well. That feeling of yes, of we know it, but we don't trust it. We're so used to the mind being in charge. The mind is the dominant thing, and it's just that we've been trained to follow only the mind, the logic.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but the mind doesn't seem to have that kind of control anymore in my life. Moments might change in the next hour or the next day, and if something is really important, I definitely want to know whether I still think the same about it in a week's time, let's say. So it's more about feelings.
Yeah, because the mind always changes. The mind's always changing, and it's a good tool to see the options and to see the pros and cons of each option. It's a great tool for that. But you're right, it always changes between the two, causing confusion, and you're not sure. But the answer doesn't lie in that mind, that conflict.
No, the mind won't come up with the answer to whatever you perceive as a problem.
This is the answer. This is the answer. and it flows.
What do you mean? This is the answer.
Yeah. Well, the answer.
The situation as it is, including the thoughts and the emotions. Are you still there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I'm still.
No, I switched off the picture because there's a delay between you speaking and what I'm hearing. Okay. It's easier for me to do this like an ordinary phone call.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Now I must say, phoning by webcam is probably a lot better, because then I'll see you speak and we'll be able to pick up your words far more easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
But to get back to why I called, I mean, you say being in a relationship with a master or teacher is more than enough.
More than enough compared to what? So you're saying do that over what? Over action, over doing something? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you don't. Well, it may come up to do certain things because you're really interested in it, to do those two things, but the real work will continue by being in contact with the teacher you resonate with.
Can you speak more direct and more like? Do you have a problem that you?
Shall I try to set up my webcam?
No, I just mean, no, it's fine. I just mean, like, what's your question? Do you have a problem that you can't deal with, or what are you actually asking? What's your issue that you're trying to deal with that you're not saying? Like, what's the?
No, I was just thinking about people not being relaxed, not being in tune with the way life is happening to them. And
how does it relate to you or the people? So what's actually affecting you? Like, what's your problem or your? situation?
Okay. Let's say I'm nearing 60, and I reckon I have about 20 more years to live. And there are so many things in life which I haven't experienced.
Yeah.
And in a way, I regret that. I mean, I evolved over the past, well, at least 30 years. But I feel a bit like I've been a spectator on the sideline.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you feel like you want to get more involved and do more things?
Well,
what would you like
I hope I still have the time to be able to do that.
Sorry, say it again, sorry.
Okay. I hope I still have the time to be able to do that.
What would you like to be doing? What's your...
Well, yeah. You know, I really liked the idea of coming to visit you last year, and well, it went wrong for a very silly reason. But at least it meant I was starting to do things I hadn't been used to. Like breaking out of my cocoon. And, well, in a way that bothers me. I mean, that my current situation keeps me from, well, live life as I should like to live it.
So you want to be more free to live life to flow easier, like be more active.
Yeah, less passive. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And why are you not being more active, and why is that not happening?
Financial situation, emotional, state of mind.
Yeah.
I could, tell you about a number of things. I think which have to do with it, but you began by asking, what is your situation which you would like to change? And this is the first thing that comes to mind. I still like to come to England to see you, and just do a few things together. Come back to England because I haven't been there in 30 years, and I really like to see it again. So
Are you feeling like you feel stuck? Like you feel stuck somewhere, and you want to? Yeah, if you feel stuck.
Yeah, I feel stuck, and momentarily it's because of my finances. I'm looking for a new job, which still has to come about, and
and do you believe that if you achieve these things, that you will then not feel that sense of stuckness?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. No, I don't think I will solve it that way, because it will just travel with me. But it's more of a wish, just expressed by, I still like to come to England and meet you there. Then my life situation, in the sense, well, the only thing is, it's getting a bit late in life to be able to do all the things that might be possible.
It feels like you enjoy that as well. You enjoy that sense of being stuck. You enjoy it. And the story about it's too late now, I'm getting older. Like, you enjoy being stuck. You enjoy that story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
like, without being stuck, then you have to go out there and do stuff. And being stuck enables you to remain in that familiar place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that familiar place has ceased to exist. I mean,
so then is it really? So then is it really true what you're saying about wanting to get out there and do this and do that? Is it really true, or is it just this stuckness, wanting to play at being stuck and telling its woes of its stuckness and living out its story?
Difficult one to answer, because I experienced both.
Does it get pleasure from that? Pleasure from saying it's familiar stories of being stuck and what it can't do, what it can't achieve. Is there some kind of pleasure in that pattern, in that story of you?
And what's the pleasure of that story?
Well, what is it? I don't know. You have to tell yourself, really. What is that pleasure? What do you get out of it?
What do I get out of being in the situation I'm in?
Feeling stuck, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Safety.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know if we do have enough time to talk about this. But no, this has been going on through my entire life. That everything I wasn't used to made me anxious, and it took effort and perseverance, as I experienced at that time, to go to face those situations. And a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have changed. For instance, I wasn't very talkative when I was young, but by all the experience I had to become more talkative, and now it feels kind of normal. And well, that integrates with what I said about God. I'm nearing 60, and I know Advaita is not about development on a personal level, but God, there are so many things in life which I didn't experience, and in a way, it feels like a kind of early retirement. I don't know whether it's the right choice of words, but there used to be the seeker with all the hopes and ideas about what the future could bring. And that seer has gone. Instead of it, there is just spontaneity, which is far better. But hey, you dragged me into this subject. Still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
So how are you feeling now?
Slightly better than a long time. Had to do with well, saying goodbye to my mom because she's demanding financial crisis, in the sense I lost my job and I have to live on welfare right now.
But how are you? But how are you feeling now? How do you feel right
now? Reasonably okay, because I notice I'm socializing again. I'm Skyping you, talking to Lisa, being in contact with friends, having a better relationship with my sister.
are you like aware that what you're describing isn't what's happening now? But these are the descriptions of things that may be happening in your situation, circumstances, but that they aren't referring to what is happening now.
Just because my life has definitely changed with let's say the departure of my mom. She played such an integral part in my life, and all things were pretty much the same as they were before. Okay, she got older, and I had to do a bit more work to let her live her life. But right now, there's a kind of loneliness that has come over me, like senselessness. What's the point of? And I can easily say, well, okay, that's just being or feeling depressed. But well, okay, that's what there is at the moment.
So you're feeling depressed.
Sorry, come again.
So you're feeling depressed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, depressed feelings are more abundant. I'm stepping into a zone where, I just live my life and starts to feel kind of pointless. I mean, there used to be adventure. There used to be.
Sorry, just to interrupt you.
Sorry.
So is that? So I feel the depression here. So is that why you were asking initially about whether you should just go to a speaker and that be it, or whether you should try and find other solutions? Was that the reason why you were asking? Because you feel depressed and you wasn't sure whether Advaita would sort that depression out just by listening to and resonating with the speaker? Is that what you were asking?
I have to think about that. Because on the one hand, I see your argument. On the other hand, I accept that life will present itself to me the way it will, the way it does, and I don't feel there is much to be gained by starting to talk about reasons for depressions or what there is to be done about it. I mean, inspiration will be enough in that sense.
Yeah, I just don't think non-duality is there to help with depression. I think it can make things easier in some ways, but I wouldn't say that's for depression, go and see a non-dual speaker. I wouldn't recommend that as the solution to that particular issue.
You wouldn't say being with a teacher will help you get out of your depression.
Yeah, if you're saying you have depression, you're saying, should I go to a speaker to help with this depression? I would say definitely go to a speaker that you resonate with if you like the speaker, but that isn't going to be enough to deal with your depression. I wouldn't say sacrifice getting help for depression and go and see a speaker instead. I would say do both.
Well, there's medication I can take.
I wouldn't say that either, but there's various things you can do, medication being one option, but you can also have talking therapies, physical therapies. You can read about depression, watch YouTube about ways to handle depression, deal with depression, change your diet, look at your conditioning, your traumas from the past. There's lots you can do to look at that, but I wouldn't say to leave it and ignore it and just cover it with non-duality.
No. I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, and as far as I can see right now, being aware of these feelings entering my system and making me think in a certain way, that awareness does help in not getting stuck in a certain type of thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't say abandon non-duality. I'll just say, alongside that, maybe explore other things that can help changing your mood and change your lifestyle, maybe to help that. So yeah.
Did you say a change in health, a change in lifestyle will help?
Possibly can contribute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It can contribute to how you feel. Where you live, how you live, getting up earlier, exercising, seeing friends, whatever you like to do. It can help change your mood. So explore other things as well as seeing a doctor or seeing a therapist or whatever you might need to do. Read books about depression or your traumas or conditioning. Join self-help groups or there's so much you could explore as well as following non-duality.
I see your point.
It's not like you can't do both. You can't,
Because I'm not a proponent of talking about depression and where it stems from.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think that is going to help.
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah, but then
Sorry.
But then you now know that, so you can then do what you feel is better for you. So obviously we're all different, so you have to get used to what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
What you feel is right for you, so you have to get used to that and follow that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by inspiration.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Anyway, I've kept you for far too long.
Yeah, I don't get many calls, so it's great to get a caller. It's like, woohoo, someone's right in. So I appreciate talking to us live.
I'm not so depressed that I really like to talk to you.
Yeah.
Talk with you. But anyway, one thing, don't forget the moon eclipse tomorrow night. It's probably about 8:30 your time.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll look out for it. Thank you.
It seems to be spectacular.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It should be a clear sky, so I can see it clearly. I think it's quite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the
last question. What about the heat in England? Because it's around 33 degrees centigrade here in Holland.
Yeah, I'm not good at it. I don't really know. And it's terrible, but I don't really know measurements very well. I don't know how hot it is. I'm really bad. I couldn't even guess what number it is. I don't know. It's very hot. Very hot.
Yeah, fairly hot. Okay.
Very hot. Maybe like I don't know, 30 something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Almost tropical.
Yeah. But I know there's not much wind, so it's quite a dry heat. So it's not very nice, the dryness.
That's a lot better than moisture in the
is it?
which we are accustomed to in Holland.
Oh, okay.
And then the heat feels far more oppressive than when it's dry heat.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Rebecca, it has been lovely to talk with you.
Yeah, you too, Roman. Thanks for calling in.
Okay. Really, it's great to have the opportunity to have a conversation like this.
Yeah. It was lovely. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, have a good night, and maybe we speak. At least I'll see you on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, my eyes are stinging. Oh. Oh. Why are my eyes stinging? Hi, Paul. Hi, Rebecca. Lovely talk. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks to Ramon for calling in. It's nice to have somebody actually to interact with, and it's lovely because if it looks like I was going to say something like yeah. Like it's an exploration. Like we're exploring together. It's not like I know the answers and I know what that human's condition is, what it's stuck on. It's exploration together to see what's happening, where the issue is, where the stuckness is, where the obsession is, where the seeking's happening. So it's really wonderful that I get, one-to-ones and call-ins now and again, because it gets that chance to explore with the people. And it's really wonderful. I really appreciate you calling in, Roman. Yeah, it feels like talking to a friend. That's really nice. That's really nice. Really nice. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for joining the stream, and I am back on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. So I'll see you then. Okay. Bye.